I want to talk about Terrence Crawford and Earl Spence on how they're being promoted the last 2-3 weeks. You got Earl Spence. He's being promoted very well, I think, with this Dallas Cowboys connection. Him being from Texas, and him getting cozy and being even promoted by Jerry Jones will be very, very good for Earl Spence. And I like the way Earl Spence carry himself outside the ring. The young man does carry himself with class and dignity and respect. But he has a confidence, a quiet confidence about him, and he believes in his boxing skills. He believes that he's the best welterweight. And Terrence Crawford, he's being promoted very well. Bob Arum has connected him to ESPN. Now, I didn't like the fact that his fight was on the app. I thought his fight should have been on regular ESPN, just like the Indago fight was on ESPN, was on regular ESPN. You didn't need the app for that. But I think that's their form of being of having a pay-per-view type thing, without you having to pay a big $50-$60 for pay-per-view. All you got to do is pay $4 for the app, and then you can discard the app after the fight go off. And plus, the app is like a 7-day trial, so you didn't have to pay for the app per se. All you had to do was download it and sign up for it. But both of these guys, in my opinion, are being promoted very well. Now, what I do want to say is this: I don't like the fact on how I think this fight is about 2 years away. And a lot of people are accepting the fact that the fight is 2 years away, and a lot of people are making comments saying that the fight need to build up, but I remember people saying the Keith Thurman Earl Spence fight don't need to build up. I remember that distinctly, people saying that fight do not need to build up, and I heard some people say the fight needs to build up. Now, I'm not a build up fight type guy. I don't believe, especially in boxing, where anything can happen. I don't believe you should sit back and try to build up anything. I think you should strike once the iron is hot. Once the two guys are hot, both of these guys are undefeated. Both of these guys have been having impressive performances. And if you're gonna say you're gonna wait until the fight builds up, I don't understand what is the build up. The fight is already built up. I mean, everybody's talking about it. It's 1,000 videos out there about these two guys getting it on, and 1,000 breakdowns and all these things. And by the way, I did see Crawford on the Breakfast Club, and that's another thing. Him and Earl Spence, they've both been on the Breakfast Club, and Earl Spence was on ESPN this morning. Just in an interview with him, he was talking about the fight not happening right away. See, that's what I mean. The fight not happening right away is what concerning me. Now, everybody say, I know Earl Spence wants to fight everybody, but it's always a pause when it's another guy out there that you think is just as good as you. Now, Terrence Crawford said this. Now, I'm only gonna state and say what these two guys have said. I'm not gonna voice my opinion on it right now. I'm about to give what these guys said. Terrence Crawford said, yes, I want to fight Earl Spence. If Bob Arum is going to send me over to Showtime, I just want to make sure the money is right. Now, Terrence Crawford never said that I have to fight this guy first. I'm going to fight this guy first. I'm going to fight that guy first for the fight to happen. All he said was the business has to be right, which that's part of negotiation. Earl Spence's statement was, I want to clean up my side of my block first. I want to clean out my house first before I fight Terrence Crawford. Meaning he want to fight either the winner of Danny Garcia and Shawn Porter, and he wants to fight Keith Thurman. So if he wants to fight, he's really 2 fights away from getting those 2 titles, the WBC and the WBA. Now, if you look at the path on how these guys fight, you have to say that fight is 2 years away, because if he's going to fight the winner Danny Garcia and Shawn Porter, he already stated he's not going to be able to fight them this year. So that fight is not going to happen until next year. Now, we don't know if Shawn Porter, the winner of Shawn Porter and Danny Garcia, going to want to fight in between before they fight Earl Spence. We don't know if Earl Spence going to have a fight in between before he fights them. Now you got to wait on Keith Thurman to come back. Keith Thurman is not going to just jump in the ring with any of these guys right off the bat. Keith Thurman, I believe, going to have 2 warm-up fights before he even get in the ring with these guys. So that's 2 more fights that he got to wait on Keith Thurman to fight. So that to me pushes the fight 2 years away, man. This fight is 2 years away, and it's a lot of people accepting that. I'm not accepting that, man. This fight can happen no later than early next year. It could happen this year because neither one of these guys has an opponent. Why Errol Spence? Because I seen the interview after Terence Crawford beat Jeff Horn. He looked at Bob Arum, told Bob Arum make the fight, and that's what Errol Spence needs to do. He need to tell Al Heyman or whoever is his matchmaker that he wants to fight Terence Crawford next. He can always fight Danny Garcia and Shawn Porter, according to him, because they're all in the same house. And I don't want to hear people saying that all PBC fighters can't fight Bob Arum fighters. They have already been fighting each other. If you look at these matchups, people from each side have already been fighting each other. And here we go with this so-called Cold War thing again. See, people starting that again. It's not a Cold War, man. It's just the fact that these fighters have to take a little bit more control and state what they want to do. I now heard Terence Crawford look at Bob Arum. Look at Bob Arum and said, Bob, make the fight. Make the Errol Spence fight. Now, Errol Spence need to do his side, but now Errol Spence is talking, I want to clean out my house first, which he want to fight Keith Thurman and fight the winner of Danny Garcia and them and get those 2 belts. But like I said, that's 2 years away. That's a 2-year process away. Because Keith Thurman, unless they strip him, which I highly doubt he's going to get stripped from that WBA title, Keith Thurman is 2 fights away from fighting any one of these guys. He's going to fight 2 warm-up fights. So that means Errol Spence is going to be waiting on him to fight 2 more warm-up fights. And there's no guarantee Errol Spence is going to get past Danny Garcia, the winner of Danny Garcia and Shawn Porter and Keith Thurman, before he gets to Spence. I mean, before he has to fight Terence. If you were to tell me that Terence Crawford had to fight Danny Garcia, the winner of Danny Garcia and Shawn Porter, and fight Keith Thurman before he fight Errol Spence, I'm going to say that that's 50-50 chance that Crawford don't get through both of those fights without losing. It's a 50-50 chance. Same thing for Errol Spence. I can't say for sure that Errol Spence gonna get past those 2 guys, man. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I'm not gonna blow smoke up your butt. I'm not gonna do that because Danny Garcia and Shawn Porter and Keith Thurman, those are really good fighters. See, we are overlooking them because our attention is on Terence Crawford and Errol Spence. But those 3 guys can fight, man. Little do people know Keith Thurman can fight. Keith Thurman has not lost yet. Keith Thurman is the only guy still fought back-to-back guys that was ranked in the top 5 of welterweights between these fighters. He fought Danny Garcia and Shawn Porter already and defeated them. He has already done it. And it wasn't, it's not an easy thing to do to go through top fighters like that, man, and come out on the other side. Something always happens, man. Like something happens in between that you get tripped up by one of those fighters. You have a close fight. Either you lose or you have a close fight and then you have to fight again. See, that's what I mean. What if Errol Spence go in there and have a close fight with Shawn Porter or Danny Garcia, and now he got to fight them again, and then he fights Keith Thurman. That's a close fight. He got to fight him again. Then this pushes this fight almost 3 years away. Come on, man. Errol Spence, look. I know you're supporters and you're a really good fighter. I like Errol Spence and what he's doing and what he's done so far in his career. But he needs to say, man, we need to make this fight right now. We need to strike while the iron is hot. Because Terence already said he's ready. Terence has not said, I got to fight this fighter, this fighter, this fighter in my house. I got to fight Jesse Vargas. I got to fight all these guys in my house before I fight you. No. This fight has to happen, man. And I don't like the fact that Errol Spence is saying that he has to fight 2 fighters before he fights Crawford. I'm telling y'all, people always have a different take on a person who they think can challenge them. And Errol Spence knows that Terence Crawford is very talented, that Terence Crawford is going to be a problem in that ring. He knows that. And he wants to fight what he on the side, what he think is sweet. He think Danny Garcia and Shawn Porter and Keith Thurman is sweet. But I'm here to tell you, those guys are not sweet. Those guys can fight, man. Like I said, if Terence Crawford had to go through either of those 3 fighters to fight you, at least have 2 fights with either of those 3 fighters, I would say it's a 50-50 chance that Terence Crawford gets through that. I'm being honest. I'm not being one of these outrageous fans to say that Errol Spence is going to walk through these guys. He's not going to walk through these guys. Terence Crawford is not going to walk through these guys, man. It's going to be a hiccup somewhere. And the more hiccups we have, the longer this fight is going to be pushed back. So let me know what y'all think, man. Subscribe to the channel, man. This fight needs to happen sooner rather than later.